Welcome back. The show's called Brand Equity, and I'm Sonali Krishna. Seeing is believing, or should we say it was, courtesy virtual reality. From gaming, healthcare, travel and tourism, filmmaking, education to even journalism, virtual reality is redefining the way you look at the world. That's possibly why marketers today are attempting to place their brands in the make-believe dimension. And after taking the Western world by storm, VR has finally hit the Indian shores. While it's still in its nascent stage, Indian marketers are dirtying their hands and attempting VR as an experiment with their brands. We decided to take a look at how brands are attempting VR in the Indian market and how they look at it evolve. Bhumika Bindal with this report.
The marketer's plea since the inception of advertising has been constant. Create something that is out of the box. Technology has taken close to 2 centuries to crack this code, but better late than never. Marketers are only now discovering that the big idea was always in the brief all along. Think out of the box. Enter virtual reality. Little wonder then that virtual reality has taken the global markets by storm. In fact, a report by DigiCapital suggests that the global virtual reality market is expected to capture $120 billion by 2020. Now, with all eyes on this magical box, Indian marketers are also slowly and steadily gravitating towards this mystical technology.
When you're trying to tell a product story, many a time it can become very boring and vanilla. So VR actually helps you to communicate and communicate it in a manner that you want. And if you integrate it with the overall campaign, it will always be a success.
I think the VR, the virtual reality aspect of life is now becoming, or is going to become in the near future, a huge component of a consumer's life in India. It has now become extremely cost effective for a brand to use this methodology when you're talking of large numbers, to take their brand stories out to customers.
Let's take a look at Tata Motors, for instance, which has been one of the early adopters of VR and has attempted it with its all-new automobile offering, the Tiago. Tiago's marketing team, along with Viscraft, Lodestar and Papercats, designed low-cost and lightweight VR headsets and placed them in the Times of India to reach close to 2.5 lakh households in Delhi, Mumbai and Bengaluru. This was really an attempt at giving the consumer a virtual test drive of the Tiago using the VR headset by downloading the app on their phone or by viewing a 360-degree video online. That's not all. Tata Global Beverages also tried its hand at VR for its Coffee Grand launch.
Here is where most of our beans, the highest quality Arabicas and Robustas, are grown, picked, pulped and dried with the utmost precision and care.
Its attempt was to narrate the behind the scenes of the coffee making process by giving a 360-degree view of the coffee plantation from where it sources its coffee.
Tata Coffee Grand.
I think you shouldn't look at it from a cost efficiency point of view. I think I would look at it more from an engagement point of view and whether it worked in terms of what the end objective was. So if I look at what our end objective was to highlight the difference in our product, highlight the fact that we are from our own plantation, I think VR did the job very well. I don't think we could have done that any better using any other mode or technology.
To give consumers a more interactive and immersive experience, e-commerce portals too have decided to tread on the virtual reality path. Take Common Floor, for instance, an online real estate buying, selling and renting portal. The real estate portal is currently offering retina headgears to allow potential buyers a 360-degree view of the properties they wish to buy while sitting and accessing it from the comfort of their own space at any point of time. Another case in point being Urban Ladder, an online furniture selling portal. Urban Ladder launched an app called Living Spaces, enabling potential consumers to place furniture in their homes virtually to get a sense of its aesthetics. Lenskart, an online portal that sells eyewear, has adopted the 3D technology to enable users to try on spectacles online by projecting them on realistic 3D models of themselves just by clicking a selfie and virtually trying out the frames. Well, let's hear out how these attempts have fared for all these players.
So we have conversion on the spot that can go as high up as 40 to 50%. And that is only possible because we have that wow experience completely. The same with the consulting on wardrobes, the same with the consulting on kitchens. We're able to wow the customer to a level which they would have not been otherwise done. And that's where the interplay between product and marketing come very strongly, and also the interplay between a very core product strategy and it not being just a gimmicky marketing strategy.
We have about somewhere between 3,000 and 6,000 builders who are using this for their apartment complexes. And the real good thing about that is around 15 or so thousand end users have actually wanted to use that headgear. We are integrating VR from outside, inside, and 3D models with video interactions with the builders.
Earlier, you know, if a regular visitor would convert, let's say 2 out of 100 people were buying, after they did the trial, that number was almost about 5 out of 100. Whereas when we launched the 3D, that number went up all the way up to, 20-odd%. So which means 20 out of 100 people who would finish a, 3D trial would actually end up buying a pair of specs.
Undoubtedly, virtual reality is still at a nascent stage in India, and a lot of brands are diving in thanks to its novelty factor. Logistically speaking, India's huge smartphone base of 160 million users gives virtual reality a big opportunity in this market. However,
when juxtaposed with the West, Indian marketers have a few more concerns to deal with than merely assessing the ROI. Firstly, India lacks the infrastructure to effectively deliver high-speed internet conducive to VR marketing. Secondly, affordability posing as a major constraint in terms of accessibility of such devices. So if the Indian marketer is planning to make virtual reality a regular part of his communication mix, a lot of basics need to be put into place.
I think where we're lacking is in terms of the actual technology. So you have Oculus Rift, you have Samsung doing gear and some others, but those are still quite pricey. Low-cost technology is really what's going to drive this change, I believe.
In terms of cost efficiency, it's not super cost efficient right now, I would say, considering the bandwidth that it consumes, the bandwidth available in India, number of people who are able to do it successfully. But what we have seen is, for example, that 50 lakh server expenses, we have been able to bring it down to 7-8 lakh rupees a month.
The different devices that we today use for AR and VR is probably not, very optimal, because the users could potentially get nausea, or the users would not be able to get a real life view on how things are. That's why, you see a lot of investments on the kind of devices that are coming into the market.
it may have opened gateways to a new marketing dimension, but it will still take some time for Indians to truly fathom this new world experience.